All right, I'm the Flat Rate Master, and today let's take a look at what's going on around the shop. All right, in this big old box right here, Bam Bam has a Honda brake line. Yeah, that big old box for a Honda brake line. We've got a CRV that had a bunch of rodent damage, and they got into one of the brake lines, and so we decided to go ahead and replace it because it's a coated brake line, and they chewed through the coating and into the metal line itself, so we wanted to make sure the customer was safe. He also has to do a bunch of electrical repairs. Now this Mustang is actually Bam Bam's. He bought it off of our service rider. It's a 4.6 GT, bunch of upgrades in the subframe and all that. The reason it's parked here is Bam Bam is driving a F-250 home that he did his very first Ford cab off to put an engine in it. It had low oil pressure, hot, and VVTs were making a bunch of noise, phasers. So we checked oil pressure at the back of the head. It was low, wasn't even that hot, it was already low. So we know the heads are clogged. Customer went ahead and went for a new Ford remanufactured engine. It's running good. He just wants to verify his repairs before he ships it. All right, next up, Bam Bam has this Lexus. I think actually this has been on a what's going on around the shop before. He's doing a bunch of oil leak repairs. Like a year ago, he rebuilt the front and rear suspension. Customers put a bunch of money in this car. Customers also doing 4 new tires for a vibration issue. The tires are old and you know, they're Michelin, so they're hard, so they don't wear that much, but they are old and out of date, so we're going ahead and replacing them. And then he'll do alignment. All right, my joy is an instrument cluster harness and fuse box bracket holder on this Avalanche. So what would happen, the customer complaint was no crank, and it would be driving along and all of a sudden he'd lose everything and he'd want to stall and stuff like that. Well, I've gotten it to replicate. I tracked it down to the fuse box and the harness going into the dash. Now, unfortunately, the fuse box itself didn't fix the car. It still does it. Pin fitment on the connectors going into the fuse box is an issue, and there was just too many of them to try to repin or etc. And the connectors were broken, so they didn't sit in the holder correctly and wanted to move. So customer opted to replace the dash harness. Dash harness is in the dash and it's going back together, but yeah, fun. But I was able to replicate it, and by shifting the fuse box, I could bring power. The entire interior had no power when it did it. So I know it's in the vicinity of the fuse box, because you'd move the fuse box and all of a sudden everything would come back alive. So fun. I hate doing dashes. All right. Zach is doing a cylinder head on this late model Honda, Earth Dreams. Customer overheated it to the point where it blew the head gasket, and not just a little bit. So he is putting it back together, hopefully have him running tomorrow. But yeah, they drove it till it couldn't drive no more, and it was done. Daniel did a cam cover reseal on this Audi. Water pump was leaking as well. He also did a carbon cleaning when he had the intake off, and it's actually mostly back together. It's already run, so we know he didn't, blow anything up. So he's good to go on that. He just has to put the rest of the front end on and button some stuff up. But, you know, nice little cam cover reseal, water pump. Nice little ticket. And, oh, there's Bam Bam's tires. I got asked this the other day when we introduced the alignment rack. And we've had that tire changer and balancer since we opened. We kind of backed away from doing tires. We had a really good relationship with Kaufman Tire, who was at the time was doing our alignment. So we basically just sent all our tire business over there, but they've since been bought out by Mavis, and well, they suck. So we decided to go ahead and bring tires back in-house, unfortunately. Both of our service riders are former employees of Kaufman, and service manager worked for Mavis for a minute. Daniel actually worked for Mavis and Kaufman as well, but you know, they know tires, so they can sell tires, so we're selling tires again. All right, Billy busted out a bunch of work today. He had one good-sized job, a AC job on a Infinity. We had a little problem with parts delivery, destroying condensers on delivery, but other than that, it went fine. And there's our stack of tires we've done so far for the week. Eric has this Audi he's doing the water pump on, and so much fun, he gets to do it twice. Apparently the water pump was dropped in delivery or shipping or something. He went to bolt up the pipe to the water pump, and the flange literally cracked off the housing. So he gets to warranty that. Fun. He also has that Highlander outside with a check engine light. The Highlander came in for previous wrecks and a check engine light. He's got to check that out tomorrow. Cole is in, well, BMW heaven, or, you know, the other thing, depending on your opinion of BMWs. He's doing he's gotten to do 2 oil pans from previous wrecks. This X5 and that 5 Series outside, he's got both of them done. He had a vibration on this X5 that he traced down to a CV axle that actually, the nut wasn't actually fully tight. It had galled out. We had to cut it off and put a new CV axle in, but he's got to drive it in the morning and align it, and he's also got to align the other BMW. He's also got a brake job outside, and that BMW outside, struts didn't come in till today, so he gets to do struts on it as well. So he's got plenty of stuff to do. As always, thanks for watching. I am the Flat Rate Master.